Most people say they want success, a better life, more freedom. But here's a truth that might sting a little. It's not failure that stops most of them. It's not a lack of talent or opportunity. It's something far more subtle, something they do every single day without even realizing it. And if you're doing this too, it's quietly destroying your progress one day at a time. Let's talk about it. You've got goals, right? Big, exciting dreams. You probably told yourself, this is my year, this is when everything changes. But then weeks turn into months, and somehow, you're still in the exact same spot. You feel stuck, not because you're lazy or not trying, but because something inside you keeps pulling you back, like an invisible leash. Does that sound familiar? Good, because that's exactly what we're going to break today. The cycle ends now. See, the vast majority of people don't fail because they aren't capable. They're brilliant, they're talented, they have amazing ideas. They fail because they self-sabotage. It's a quiet, insidious habit. They hesitate when they should act. They let that little voice of doubt whisper in their ear before they even take the first step. They spend more time planning, researching, and perfecting the idea than they do actually doing the thing. And here's the really sneaky part. It doesn't feel like sabotage. It feels like being responsible. It feels like being careful or strategic. You tell yourself you're just waiting for the perfect moment, for all the stars to align. But that is the most dangerous trap you can fall into, because it masquerades as wisdom while it's actually feeding your fear. Let's be honest. What's the biggest dream killer you know? It's not some big scary monster called fear. It's a much quieter, more polite-sounding habit. Waiting until you feel ready. We all do it. I'll start that business when I have more time. I'll apply for that dream job when I feel more confident. I'll start working out when things calm down at work. I'll write that book when I'm more inspired. But here's the harsh, cold truth. That perfect moment you're waiting for? It's a fantasy. It will never arrive. You will never, ever feel 100% ready. There will always be a reason to wait, an excuse to delay. And the longer you wait, the smaller your dreams become. They shrink to fit the size of your comfort zone. Every single time you delay, you are actively training your brain to believe that it's okay to stay the same. You're reinforcing the idea that your current situation is your destiny. So how do we break this cycle? Here's the shift, the fundamental change in mindset you need to make right now. Successful people don't wait for confidence. They build it through action. They don't wait for motivation. They create it through movement. They start messy, they start scared. They start long before they feel ready. They embrace the awkwardness of being a beginner. Because readiness isn't some magical feeling that descends upon you from the heavens. Readiness is a decision. It's a choice you make. You don't find it. You create it. One small, imperfect step at a time. The secret isn't to eliminate fear. It's to act in spite of it. Think about it. Every great story, every incredible achievement, every person you admire, it all started with someone who had no idea what they were doing. They were just as uncertain as you are. The Wright brothers didn't have a perfect blueprint for flight. They just kept trying, crashing, and learning. J.K. Rowling didn't know if anyone would read her story about a boy wizard. She just wrote. They just began. And with every small, uncomfortable step, they became stronger. They got smarter. They grew sharper. You will never grow by waiting for the perfect conditions. You grow by showing up when it's inconvenient, when it's uncomfortable, when you feel like an imposter. That is the single biggest difference between the dreamers who stay in their heads and the doers who change their reality. So if you truly want success, if you're tired of being stuck in the same place, you have to stop waiting. Stop overthinking. Stop planning your plan. Just take one small step today. It doesn't have to be perfect. It just has to be forward. Send that email. Make that call. Write that first paragraph. Do that first push-up. Because the version of you that you've been waiting to become, that confident, successful, fulfilled person, they're on the other side of your comfort zone, and they're waiting for you to move. The most powerful antidote to the poison of self-sabotage is action, even tiny actions, because action creates data. It tells you what works and what doesn't, Waiting gives you nothing but more anxiety and bigger doubts. When you act, you might fail, but you also might succeed. And even if you fail, you've learned something. You've gained experience. You are now more prepared than you were before. Waiting gives you none of that. It just prolongs the pain of inaction. You've probably heard the phrase, analysis paralysis. It's when you get so lost in researching and planning that you never actually start. This is the modern form of waiting to be ready. You convince yourself you need to watch one more tutorial, read one more book, get one more opinion. But in reality, you're just building a comfortable nest of information to hide in. The only way out is to deliberately step into the unknown. So here is the final truth. You'll never feel 100% ready. You'll never be 100% certain. But every small move forward, every action taken despite the fear, builds the version of you who is ready. So please, stop waiting for motivation to strike like lightning. Move first. Motivation isn't the cause of action, it's the result of it. Momentum is your best friend. If this message hit home, if you felt that spark of recognition, then subscribe to the channel, because your growth starts the very moment you decide to stop waiting and start doing. Thank you for watching.